guys, what's going on? It is Nathan here, and I wanted to bring to you guys one of my throws. I want to do a quick little breakdown and hopefully help somebody out with some technique. This is a lightweight for distance. The implement weighs about 33 pounds, which is 5 pounds heavier than the normal lightweight for distance. Just what I have to practice with. And just a little bit of background real quick. I've only been doing this since the beginning of this year. In January is when I started throwing, and March was my first competition. So I'm relatively new to this. This is one of my best throws, so I just wanted to share with you guys the process behind what led into the throw, and hopefully it helps you guys out. So without further ado, let's check it out. Okay, let's just start off by watching the throw in half speed. Can do a little bit of commentary, but the biggest thing you'll see as I explain it is working on patience out of the back, meaning at the start of a throw, and then I'm able to actually build that speed and get a decent finish or release off of it. So all right, let's break it down. Something I've been working on is being as patient as I possibly can be, especially once the weight goes behind me. So if you see here, I'm working on getting low with the implement. Super important, because I feel like the key to a lot of athletic things is that the lower your center of gravity is, the more power or force you're able to generate. Anyways, working on that, and then as the weight comes up behind me, I rise with it slightly, and then you'll see I just kind of hang out in that moment for a little bit longer than what I would normally do. Takes a while for that slow motion to kick in. So that's the very first thing that I worked on. The second thing was the placement of the weight before I began my first rotation or turn. So I really focused on waiting for that weight to get here. Yeah, so you'll see, so you can see right here, I kind of push that weight out and I let it get to that point right there before I began my turn. So that's something that I normally, as the weight got about to this point here, I would already begin throwing my chest back behind me. So it kind of led to me getting into a bunch of kind of ahead of the weights too much. So yeah, so we got the good push here. Now in this position, after switching my feet, basically replacing my left foot with my right, now I'm able to actually get a good push down with this weight and try to get it to this spot here throughout that motion. So that created a low point here, which a lot of times that's what we want. Is we want, you know, the trig is here, we want the low point to be, if you have a clock head here, this would be the 6 o'clock point, basically opposite direction of where you want the weight to go. So it kind of helps me set up for this high point here, which is going to be right in that money spot. Okay, low point was here, high point, low point. Really helps to create that direction of where you want the weights to go, right? I ended up being able to place it right where I wanted it. So, but it all kind of started from this setup. So moral of the story, the setup is everything. Okay, taking your time. You see the movement with the weight. We want to make sure that we're moving, dipping when we need to, dip again. As I come down, my hips dip again right before they explode. So I feel like it's getting a lot better, especially as I'm learning to drive with the weight, get my hips open, keep the chest up and things like that. So there's a lot more I can improve on. This is not perfect by any means, but hopefully it gives you guys some insight as to like what the thought process behind this whole ordeal is. You know, I'm gonna restart this breakdown. Okay, so at the beginning of my cast, I'm just focusing on getting some good movement with the weight and letting my weight shift back and forth. Okay, I spend a little bit extra time in those outstretched positions, really to build on that patience. And you can see that the hips are moving, you know, with the implement as well. Okay, one thing I want to stress is being patient at this point, because I really wait. As you can see, I let that weight get in front of me. If you were to draw a line where my hips are, okay, and say like this is the wall of my hips, I do have that weight out in front of that. Okay, but this is going to lead into the next part where we're actually able to get right away. As soon as I turn, my hip opens up. Okay, it's now in front of the weight, and this is ideal because we're not chasing the weight. You're able to set as soon as we come back down and get the hips set in position. We're in another advantageous position to dip down and leverage the weight to get more force on it. So what I mean by that is here, see my hips are still in front of that weight, high point exactly in the direction that I want it. Okay, and now my hips are almost 180 degrees ahead of it, right? But now I'm able to get another good sink. Okay, I could go a little bit lower, something I'm going to be working on, but it gives me that ideal position to get right back to that point. And the weight starts to drift a little bit in front again. Okay, but not for long. As I step into it, the hips immediately shoot ahead. Okay, yep, just a few little tips that helped me out a lot. I mean a lot. So hopefully those give you guys some things to think about if you're interested in throwing further, or you just have maybe one of those things that you like, once you correct, will increase what you've already built. So hey guys, just my thoughts on this throw. I was really pleased. I hope that I can continue to throw in this way and just kind of develop off that. The more I teach, the more I learn. So that's then the other purpose of this video. I'm going to work on more videos like this and try to release them and just get it started. And I want to help others that are starting this sport and maybe just need that little extra step to get better. So yeah guys, cheers, happy throwing, and stay safe out there.